Welcome back to Talk a Good Game, a show all about, you guessed it, good games. I'm your host, Andrew Wolf. With me today, maker of things, photographer, and gamer extraordinaire, my friend, Evan Butler. Thanks so much for being here, man. I'm really glad we're able to get some time to chat about some good games. How are you doing?
Hey, Andrew. Yeah, it's been a while. Last saw you at PAX, so...
Yeah, what was that, PAX West?
Yeah, it was PAX West last year.
It's not called PAX Prime anymore. I always want to call it PAX Prime, but I know it's not Prime anymore.
It's been a while. Thank you for having me. I've seen that you started doing podcasts.
Yeah, it's been fun. Didn't record one last week. We were on pressed pause for a bit. I've been just with all the Switch 2 stuff, and I'm getting ready to go to Japan. There's just been a lot going on, but I appreciate you making time for me today.
Yeah, I appreciate me nagging you enough to let me onto your podcast.
You want to talk about, let's see, are you working on any cookbooks right now? You're the cookbook guy. You want to tell folks that maybe don't know a little bit about
it? We gotta do a little bit of the ground level. Got to introduce. Nobody has any idea who I am, and that's fun.
Maker of things. That's all they need to know.
Maker of things, gamer extraordinaire.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thanks. I don't know. It's a beautiful title. Thank you so much. I feel like I've earned it. So like the beautiful magnanimous Andrew said, my name's Evan. I own a little company called JobJob, JobJobLLC. I got it before, what's that company? Jackbox made a game called JobJob, but there's a space between.
Oh no.
Everyone's just like, oh, is it like the Jackbox thing? And I'm like, no, it's I
got it first.
I have paperwork that predates that. I was the original. They stole it from me. But yeah, like Andrew said, I do make things. Job is honestly kind of an excuse just to make all of our silly, like, I've always been a creative person. I always like making things. I like working with people in communities. And like, I just want to make like little books or, we made a movie one time. We've just made a lot of things, and it's JobJob is sort of like my vehicle to do that under, some vague level of quote unquote professionalism. So, but it's been pretty fun. We've worked on some like official projects with like real official companies, which is really neat. We did an official Toe Jam and Earl cookbook, which is as weird and funky as you can imagine. There's chocolate covered pickles in it. There's moldy bread recipes.
Yum.
That recipe is awesome. And we've even had an opportunity to work with Sega on some of their marketing campaigns. We made Cooking with II for Super Monkey Ball, Banana Mania. We made puppet videos. It's literally a puppet cooking show. It's really, really, really cute. It's on YouTube.
Listeners can't see Evan's face. He did bow his head a little bit. I didn't sense any shame though. It was more just like, how do I explain that I helped create a puppet show for a video game about monkeys that roll around in balls?
The whole thing. The recipes are fantastic. The banana milkshake's really good. I think my favorite out of that was we did a banana nut muffins.
I love banana nut.
Yeah, no, we had a really good spice blend in that one with cardamom.
You gotta do poppy seed sometime. Something poppy seed, because I love poppy seed. Actually, I'm getting a random idea right now, and nobody listening can steal this, but I've been trying to convince Evan to do an unofficial XENOBLADE cookbook, and there is a character named Poppy, and I think making poppy seed muffins or poppy seed bread, I think that's where you should start.
I've never played XENOBLADE.
That's okay. The people will come. Yes.
A bunch of people have told me to check it out, but then I look at it and it's like 10 billion hours.
Yeah, you need at least 80 hours per game. And
dude, I played like Tales of Symphonia 10 years ago, and I don't know if I have the emotional like bandwidth to like go on another 80-hour slog. And there's how many XENOBLADE games are there?
There's there's a lot.
30? And
as a family man, I know you don't have as much time as you used to.
It's true. Yeah, that's what happens when you've got kids and a full-time job and a side business. And, it's just like, I just can't really squirrel away, 80 hours to go on an adventure to, fight the bad guy and find my dad.
But someday.
Whatever it is.
Someday you'll make a cookbook for it. You don't need to play it. That's okay.
I mean, it's true.
What was the
games anymore?
You don't play video games anymore and here you are on a podcast about video games. What was the most recent cookbook you made? Was that the fast food?
So yeah, that one's it's almost done. We have like one piece of art left. It's a cookbook that's inspired by F-Zero. So it has a bunch of well, I mean, all the art and all this, the stylizations are inspired by like that sort of like rude dude attitude era of like comics from like 80s and 90s. So there's a lot of Judge Dredd like inspirations, and F-Zero and Alien, and a bunch. Like it's very cute. The colors are really nice. I absolutely love the comics. It's a comic cookbook. It's really neat. And yeah, and so it also has a really unique idea that I'd never really seen in a cookbook before that I thought was awesome. And that's, we take like stock, crappy, fast food recipes, essentially, like, and then we upgrade them. Like the whole idea is like tune up your, your comfort foods. And so we have, we have boxed mac and cheese, but you end up baking it. So like you tune it up.
That's amazing.
We have like a recipe that you can make using fries that you buy from a fast food joint. And then you essentially turn it into, you put pico de gallo on it, you make guac.
Okay, I'm getting hungry. Yeah, we're recording this at lunchtime, and now I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, no, like the whole idea is that you just take sort of like crappy stock fast food, and then you just like make it better. Like you don't have to just eat like, another really good one is, oh man, I'm like blanking really hard.
It's all right. Too many recipes in your head.
Oh,
too many cookbooks.
The instant ramen. We have an instant ramen recipe where you take the instant ramen and then you essentially add like the rest of the stuff that makes real ramen real, with marinated pork. Yeah. Marinated pork and an egg, a soy sauce egg, and seaweed and all that sort of stuff. And like, we just like, you can just do this with instant ramen and it's delicious. So yeah, no, I'm a really big fan of it. I think it's an incredible idea for a book. And I'm just like, I'm sure someone else has done it before, but like, I want to see more people do that because like we all have that stock go-to food item that we get out of the closet and then we just munch on it. And like, you could turn that into like a much better meal, something that's just going to be like special, made your own. I don't know. I'm really into cooking. I like to cook.
And that's why you're here, is because you love cooking. And we're actually going to change this into talk a good meal. You guessed it. It's a show all about
You need to eat lunch, dude. It is taking over your brain.
I know.
Now, this is a business call. We're talking about video games.
We're talking about video games. You are a gamer extraordinaire. We have to talk about video games. But you said you did right before a minute ago. You were saying that you don't play video games anymore. Are you playing any games now? You've been playing anything lately?
Is Balatro a video game?
Balatro is a gambling machine. I heard. That's what I heard.
Balatro is literally just like DraftKings. But free. Yeah. It's only a lot of people I know are just like super into sports betting, and I'm just like, bro, you can do sports betting but for free. And then I show them Balatro. Next thing I know, I see them and they're vaping and they're playing Balatro on their phone, and I'm just like, you just have like an addiction problem. That's what this really is. That's
really what it is. You're addicted to making stuff and playing Balatro. Balatro. Though as of recording
is it
this,
Balatro or is it Balatro?
I don't know. It's like GIF. I don't. The creator came out and said, like, here's the official pronunciation, and everybody was like, no, we do not accept that.
One of the things I really want to do, though, is, so if you ever played Balatro, oh, I'm going to lose my mind saying that. So if you ever played Balatro, I'm just going to say Balatro. If you ever played Balatro, you know that there's actually some food jokers. And apparently the lore behind that is that the developer, Local Thunk, he put all of his favorite foods in as joker cards. And so one of the things I want to do is I want to make a cookbook inspired by Balatro and take all of those, the Joker food cards, and make recipes for them. So some of them are like really simple, like a banana or popcorn. It's like, how can you make like a recipe out of a banana? And I'm just like, well, just use a freaking banana bread recipe. That's close enough. I think.
Or
that's
banana smoothies.
You
already have the recipes.
Absolutely. And it's like cute. I think it's pretty cool. It's something I'm thinking about doing. I was like, I want to do this. That's one thing that I really want to do is start doing more, just sort of, it's almost like fan art, and just releasing them really for free. Just putting out these sort of like PDFs where it's like hey, yeah, absolutely. Because, I have so many recipes. Like our little company, it's a little community that's really grown up around it. And we're all just like crazy creative people. We like to make things. We're constantly posting like, hey, I made this. I made this, carne asada, or, I made sourdough has infected our community recently. So there's a side group that's just been making sourdough recipes. And so I'm just like, you know, we're all really talented, creative people, and like we have a ton of recipes, and we just don't have like the time, bandwidth, especially me, to like
Or
make
money.
full blown. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's no money in making it, especially right now in this economy. Oh my gosh, it's a whole thing. I have no idea how. I have no idea how my company is going to. I know how my company's going to survive. It's going to be subsidized by my day job. That's what it's going to. That's what it's going to boil down to. But that's essentially like what 50% of small businesses are. The other 50% just tank. But one of the things I want to do is just like putting out some more like free PDFs. Like, we have recipes, we got cool ideas. Let's share them with people. And like it gets people involved in the community. And I'm just like, if we're not actually actively making and selling things, we can at least keep the community alive by doing these sort of community focused things where it's like, hey, I saw your phone. I know that you have 800 hours in Balatro because you've gotten golden steak because you're a crazy person. Why don't you, give me a recipe that uses black beans? Travis. I'm talking to specifically one person in our community right now, Travis. So Travis is also a cook. So he has I'll get some recipes from him. He's a good dude. But I mean, right now it's, we're kind of in like a weird sort of lull between Switch 2. Switch 2's coming. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm excited about that. Did I pre-order it? No. Did I try to pre-order it? Yes.
Oh, no. You didn't get one, huh?
No, I didn't because I went to GameStop at, what was it? 11:01 or whatever. Like it was literally 1 minute after the pre-orders opened, and I got a Cloudflare error because, I got bounced out of the server because everything. Yeah. I sent you a screenshot.
Oh no.
I did. And it was just a mess. So, but like, right now, it's just kind of like phone games, maybe some old ones here and there, powering through things. And what I'm looking forward to. What about you? What have you been playing recently? Do you get to talk about?
No one ever asked me what I'm playing. That's an interesting question. Thank you for asking. I play too many games is the problem. I have trouble sticking to one game. I'm like 50 hours into Xenoblade 3. I'm planning on bringing my Switch one with me when I go to Japan here in a few days. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I have been dipping my toes into despelote, I think is how you pronounce it. It's despelote. It's a soccer game about Ecuador and like the early 2000s and about just like life as a kid growing up in Ecuador and like how big soccer was to the dude. It's like, you got to look it up. It's beautiful. I think it's on it's on PS5, Xbox, and I'm playing it on my Steam Deck. It's great on Steam Deck, but the art is beautiful. It's amazing. It's all the sounds and the photos are from Ecuador. So they went down to, or I think maybe the developer lives in Ecuador, but they recorded all the sounds like live in Ecuador, and they took pictures of the town and of houses and stuff. I don't know how they did it, but they like turned the pictures into 3D set pieces. So they're like photographs, but they're put on like 3D models, and it's just really cool art style.
You're describing a lot of disparate concepts in my mind's eye, where I'm just like, you're describing, sort of 3D like mapping textures, and then it's like, but then you're just like, it's about soccer, and I'm just
it's about soccer. It's really cool, and I'm not a big like soccer person, but it's I don't know, it's really touching. It's first person. It seems like it's like a self-expression, like a sort of slice of life about like clearly like the developer growing up in Ecuador. And it's been really interesting. So I've also been on my Steam Deck as well. I've been playing Dread Delusion, which is like, I posted about this on Bluesky yesterday. It's like an EverQuest fever dream. It feels like it looks like the original EverQuest, but there's like everything kind of moves and shudders all the time. And there's like giant mushrooms and like these floating things. And it's fantastic. I'm like getting sucked into it, but it's
I don't know. That sounds scary, dude. It doesn't sound like something I would like willingly subject myself to.
No. When I say EverQuest fever dream, I mean that in the best possible way. Like it's trippy, but it's the writing is fantastic. It's like some of the best writing I think I've experienced in a video game in a long time. Like it's really, really well done. So
I'll definitely
worth checking out.
I will at least Google those and stare at them for 30 seconds before deciding it's just not for me.
Yeah. How about this? How about go to DekuDeals.com instead and look up those games?
Oh, wow.
They're both on there.
Deals.
because we support Steam now. That was a big thing we added late last year. It's in public beta right now, but we've got support for Steam as well as all the consoles. So yeah, you can look up those games there, Despelote and Dread Delusion.
I'll check it out.
But we've been rambling for 15 minutes now about recipes and food and monkey balls. And
about, man?
What is there to talk about? We've got a whole list of things to talk about. I want to start with, speaking of monkeys, Donkey Kong's not a monkey. I had to correct somebody on
he's an ape.
On old Twitter.
He's a great ape, actually.
They were like, actually, Nintendo came out. All right, sorry. Back on track. Your favorite game of all time, Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo.
Correct.
And this is funny. Okay, I did say back on track, but a little side story because my mom and brother were here. We're here earlier this week, and they've been listening to the podcast. Shout out to mom and bro. And they were like, so what is it about Donkey Kong that you love so much? Because you in every episode you've talked about Donkey Kong. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. But here we are talking about Donkey Kong again.
Is this entire podcast just a vehicle for you to talk about monkeys? Is that what this is?
Yep. Apes? That's exactly what it is. He's not a monkey. He's a great ape.
Welcome to the Ape Cast. One of my favorite things, this is to sidetrack, one of my favorite things of all time, I saw this on YouTube, was a YouTube poop. It was a compilation of every single time Joe Rogan talked about chimpanzees.
Oh no. How long was the video?
It's like 12 minutes. But it's just like chaos. And they put it's like a YouTube poop. So they put in a bunch of like funny jump cuts and like funny image. It's great. It's fantastic. I don't often suggest anybody ever ingest anything from Joe Rogan. But this particular supercut of him talking about apes, check it out.
I'll put a link in the description.
Thank you so much.
If I watch it and I deem it acceptable. Okay. Yeah.
If not, just cut it. Yeah. Just cut
this whole part out. So, all right. So tell me, what is Donkey Kong Country and why is it your favorite game of all time?
Oh man. So the original Donkey Kong Country for Super Nintendo was one of the first games I got. My dad, 10 million years ago, his reward for me learning my ABCs, unironically, was to buy a Super Nintendo for the family. Personally, I think it was actually, he just wanted a Super Nintendo and he wanted an excuse. So he got a Super Nintendo when I was a kid. And DKC was one of the first games that we got. And I played it and I absolutely loved it. You know, for me, it was like DKC, in my opinion, is just like one of the best examples of like good game feel. Like it just feels fun and good and responsive and like it's intuitive too. Like, you know, understanding, you know, the coyote timing when you roll off a ledge, bouncing off of your enemies, getting more height, you know, finding secrets, moving around, you know, blasting out of barrels, all those sort of things. It just feels good. It's just really solid, fun, intuitive, and simple gameplay. And that has brought me back to all the DKC games over and over and over and over again. And there's been a couple like DKC, you know, well, Donkey Kong games that aren't country that I've played and I've enjoyed, but there's also a bunch of Donkey Kong games that are just bizarre and just not worth anybody's time, like Barrel Blast. For the Wii, just like it's not worth.
Don't do it.
It's not worth the time. There's some cool ideas in there, but it's just horrible execution.
So you learned your ABCs what was it 2015? Like 10 years ago, you learned your ABCs and.
No. Try like 1994.
Yeah. So Donkey Kong Country came out in 94. Have you played? So you said you played it since. Did you play the HD remaster?
What are you talking about?
Donkey Kong Country. That's Returns. Sorry.
It's an entire. So yeah, I've played Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country 3, Donkey Kong Country Returns, and Tropical Freeze with Funky Mode. Like, yeah, I've played all the Donkey Kong Country games.
Before I embarrassed myself by confusing Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country Returns HD remaster.
Oh, gosh.
When was the last time you played Donkey Kong Country for Super Nintendo? Because my question, coming all the way back to that, was when was the last time you played it, and was it as hard as you remember? These games are hard.
No, not for me.
Not for you, because you were born with it.
It's muscle memory, dude. It's really not that hard. Like, I still play it. I still enjoy it. You know, I can probably get through the first 3 games without losing a single life. So, like,
wow.
Yeah, and also 101 to 105%ing all of them. Because,
humble brag. Humble
I
brag.
really like these games. They just feel good. I used to back in the day, when I had a 6-pack and I was ripped. What I would do is I had a bike, like an indoor fixed bike, and I would pedal on it, and I would unironically play like old games. Like my Super Nintendo. Yeah, this is like when I was in my 20s when I got out of college and I didn't have anything else going on. I couldn't get like an actual real job because college degrees don't actually do a whole lot. Yeah, you know exactly what I mean. So it's just like, oh, well, I mean, better just like work out and, get buff for no.
You were a lifeguard.
I was a lifeguard, yes.
You were a lifeguard.
I was tan and built. It was great. I would just like work out and play like DKC. It was awesome. Absolutely fantastic.
So that's why it's your favorite game.
Yeah, probably.
Because you've been playing it for 30 years.
Yeah, it reminds me of good time. I mean, like, it does kind of remind me of good times, but like it just feels good, and like it's one of those things where like I'm good at it, right? And so that's kind of silly, but like it's simple, it's fun, it's enjoyable. It's I'm excited for the next Donkey Kong game that comes out too, Bananza. I'm looking forward to that. It looks great. It does literally just look like a pretty good ROM hack of Odyssey. I'm gonna be honest.
We don't, and at recording, we don't yet know which team at Nintendo developed it, but it does look pretty 3D Mario-ish.
Yeah,
but I will say I got to play it at the LA Switch 2 experience when I was down there, and shout out, I've got a guest article in Nintendo Force magazine, so I wrote all about my experience there. But to me, it felt Donkey Kong Bonanza in particular felt like a tech demo, and that maybe doesn't come across the right way, but it felt like, hey, here's what the Switch 2 hardware is capable of. So here, like, go play in this playground where Donkey Kong can smash stuff and like throw rocks and slide around on rocks and stuff. Which I'm not complaining. It was fun. I am really curious to see where it goes because the demo we were able to play there. If you went too far, like I was trying to speed through and get to stuff that people hadn't got to yet. But if you went past a certain point, it would just like respawn you back at the beginning. So didn't get to experience that much. There were quite a few frame drops when you opened the map because the map is really cool. It's like a live view of the area you're in, and you can see all the destruction you've done. But I'm really excited. It comes out July something. Comes out in July. So it's not a launch title.
It's not one. Oh,
it's a launch window. But I think they had enough, Mario Kart and all the Switch 2 edition of everything. I think they're just trying to space things out. But I mean, you're going to have to get a Switch 2 anyways.
I'll get around to it.
It comes out in July. You got time.
Absolutely. So, but like also kind of going back to what you said about it feeling like a tech demo, I'm going to be honest. Some of my favorite Nintendo games were essentially tech demos. I'm talking about like Luigi's Mansion and like Pikmin. They were just straight up tech demos for the GameCube. And I still absolutely love both of those games.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we're also
Link's Cross, bro.
We're working on a Luigi's Mansion inspired cookbook, by the way. It's pretty cute.
Really?
Absolutely. All the recipes are Irish inspired. Don't ask me why.
So do you have to say inspired? Is that like a legal thing so that Nintendo doesn't come after you?
I don't have to answer that question. But it's inspired because like we're not ripping stuff off from the game. Like and like we also get a whole lot of freaking flack sometimes from people where they're like, this isn't in the game. Oh, it's not lore. Yeah, no, dude. Like we have people like losing their minds and saying that our recipes aren't lore accurate, and I'm like, dude,
it's inspired by.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, but like these food items from the Zelda game literally don't exist in real life. You can't get monster extract, so we're using like potatoes. So excuse me.
Oh, I love ube.
Purple potatoes in our curry recipe, and not. No, it's just like people are very like, no, we're being upfront. Like we're using our own recipes that
you're being legal
we come up with, and like, and we take a lot of freaking liberties with it too. Like we like to have fun, and on the products that we do officially, like we have to get approvals and go through that whole chain of command.
Yeah.
And
but when you're doing inspired stuff, you don't have to do that.
No, we're just,
and I think it's fine.
We get to do what we want. And that's actually really great because I'll tell you this much, working under some people sometimes, not very fun. Yeah, absolutely horrible. Especially when like you put a lot of freaking time into something and they're like, no, not that. They shut you down. And I'm like, dude, there's like 100 hours worth of work in this product. Mm-hmm. And they're like, nah, it doesn't align with the core values. It's like, what core values? It's like, well, it's not exactly what we're looking for. I'm like, that's vague. Cool. Why don't you be in charge next time? Anyways, Anyways,
there's some pent up anger.
anywho, next question.
Okay, next question. All right, a game. Okay, we already started touching on this a little bit. A game you love right now that you feel is underrated. And come on, Balatro is not underrated. That's like putting like Astrobot is underrated, or
oh my God. Mario's underrated.
Mario's underrated. So why do you feel like more people need to play it?
Balatro?
Yeah.
Because I just don't want to be alone in my addiction anymore.
You're not. I can tell you that. I bought it. Let's see. I bought it on my phone, and I think that is what has kept me from getting too sucked in. Because I don't know if they've got it now, but I heard they were trying to develop a vertical version where you can like use it vertically. But I don't like using my phone horizontally, so I haven't been playing it. But I did buy. It went on deep discount on clearance at Best Buy, the physical version for Switch, and it was like $10 or $15 or something. So I bought that. So I'll be playing it on Switch. But okay, well, we already talked about Balatro.
Whatever. That doesn't.
Balatro. Balatro. So this one, I don't know what your actual answer is. Another game you love right now that feels like it was made just for you. You wrote Balatro JK Paper Mario. Is that or which Paper Mario?
Thousand Year Door.
Thousand Year Door.
I got the remake and I've been playing through it. And like I know it's just like a super stock response of just like, oh, I like the Mario, Paper Mario, like everybody else. Like I'm not.
I bounced off it.
You didn't like it?
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just that I just I don't know. It didn't hold my attention. I got to what was the wrestling guy's name?
Rock Hawk. And Grub Super Mega Grubbo, whatever. I know.
Yeah, whatever the Hawk dude is.
It's the Glitz Pit. Yeah.
So I beat that chapter, which I think is chapter 3.
Whatever. It's fine.
I streamed a bunch of it. I streamed up to that point, and then I just kind of fell off. I just I don't know, didn't hold my attention. But I want to hear. That's me, and this is a show all about good games. So why do you think it's good? Why do you think it's made just for you?
Oh my gosh. So I like it. One of the things that I've always really appealed about it is like, at a certain level, Paper Mario, and like you could say this about all RPGs, but especially with Paper Mario because like the numbers are kind of small. My tiny little monkey brain can sort of wrap itself around like these damage and attack values and these different stats, and it's it's kind of just like it's like a little math puzzle for me where it's just like, all right, so this character has like 15 health points. How can I do this much damage to him while also like maximizing my defense? So if I like, change my party around and do this and attack with this and do that and that. And it's just like when you really like nail it and you just sort of like solve the puzzle as best as you can, it's like, it just feels good. There's a YouTuber called Fat Guy, like 703. He's not fat. Also, I think he's Flemish, like from Belgium. Don't quote me on that. But he plays through mods for all the different Paper Mario games. And like there's some that are just like absolutely insane. And it's just utterly fascinating to see him literally get into a battle and spend like 10 minutes trying to figure out like what to do before even doing like one move. And like he'll spend hours and hours playing through some of these mods. And like not just like the whole thing, like some just like battles of it. And it was really, it's just like interesting. It's very entertaining and like, figuring out like the, hidden values and certain things, but also like I said, like I like the simple version of it, which is Paper Mario when you're doing like 2 damage to the enemy, right? And they do like 3 damage to you. Like I can't do it. Like the sort of like opposite of that is probably Pokemon.
Or Xenoblade.
Like have you ever, but I'm talking about like, have you ever looked into like the damage count for like Pokemon?
I can't. People are really into it, and hey, props to them. If you're really into that, that's awesome. I barely understand weaknesses and strengths, so like different types against different types. I can barely do that. So I don't know how I've beat multiple Xenoblade games.
I've been watching one of the quote unquote best Pokemon players of all time, Wolfie. He has a YouTube channel too, and he goes like on deep dives on like his teams when he brings them to the competitions, and it's just like math. But it's also for some reason really satisfying to me, so I'll watch his videos. So, but it's just like I can't.
Your point is it's more approachable because the math isn't too hard. It's more approachable than other games. So does that mean do you feel similarly about Super Mario RPG?
Yeah, But one of the things that I did like about Super Mario RPG was I played it when I was a lot younger, and because it is a Super Nintendo game. But I really like the story,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm usually not like a super story focused one, and I know that the story for Super Mario RPG is really not that great. But like when you're a kid,
it's fun,
and it's just like Mario fighting the weapons, and you're like, oh wow, this is just like my Super Smash Brothers fan fiction.
Yeah, this is like your imagination.
You know? Yeah, and like I love that.
That's awesome.
I thought it was great. I just want to say, going off of numbers alone, the odds that the greatest piece of just like fiction writing of all time exists and has been read by probably 12 people on like fanfiction.net, that's like probably over 50%. I want to say that. It is probably just like some Earthbound fan fiction or a Pokemon fan fiction that is probably like the best work of fiction of all time. And it's
do you have fanfic on there that I need to link to in the description of this podcast?
No, you don't.
I'm
going to
go find it,
them,
Evan Butler.
We were all teenagers at some point.
You know what else? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna reel us back in to Paper Mario, 1,000 Year Door, especially the remake, because I hadn't played the original, but man, it is gorgeous on Switch. Like, it's such a cool idea to use paper as like the set pieces and the characters, and they like flip around, and they like slide under doors and stuff. Like, I love the aesthetic and like just the theme of Paper Mario.
Yeah. So like in my point, what I have to say on that is that, you know, 1,000 Year Door did it they did it well, but quite frankly, the newer Paper Mario games,
like Origami King,
like Origami King and those Color ones, Splash. They take it even further, in my opinion. Like, yeah, but it does. You're right. It does look absolutely beautiful, and I absolutely love that aesthetic. What was it? Yoshi's Crafted World?
Yeah,
did you ever play that?
Yoshi's Crafted World is cool. I also like the Yarn one. Wait, Woolly World. That's Woolly World. Yeah. I like both of those. I think they're awesome. And is it Crafted World's on the Switch, but Woolly World's not, right?
Yeah, Woolly World was on Wii U, but I think that it came to also the 3DS. It was like Woolly
that's
World
right.
with Poochie.
Yeah, and I think you had to have the new 3DS, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was something.
The Poochie amiibo. I have the Poochie amiibo. I also have the giant Yarn Yoshi amiibo somewhere.
So do I. I actually have the Poochie
favorite.
amiibo still in box.
Still in box. Yeah. Another humble brag. Yeah, it's still in box. Yeah. No big deal. This is worth like $1,000.
Because she likes Yoshi.
Yeah, we. I think during one of the Switch 2 presentation, the games that they showed that were compatible with the Switch 1 games they showed that were compatible with Switch 2, they accidentally showed Woolly World. In one of the videos, and people are like, "Oh man, are they going to port Woolly World?" I hope they do. Those games are fun, and I think those games are those by Good Feel. I think they're by Good Feel, who did BAKERU,
that one,
which is a fun little game.
I heard about that one, but like nobody like played it.
Yeah, well, it was Japanese only for a while, and I talked about this on a previous episode, but it was Japanese only, and I imported the physical, and you really didn't need to know the language. Like, the story is silly, and you're just I think you're a Tanuki. Anyway, it's great. Yeah. It's really, really fun. It's just like a classic smashing stuff and collecting coins and picking up little golden poops, and they tell you facts about Japan. It's
I ain't got time for that. I'm gonna watch somebody play it on BDQ. That's the amount of time.
So you don't have time because you're playing too much Balatro.
It is crippling me. I don't know how do I manage my time better? Help.
Buy a Switch 2 and leave your family and only play video games. I don't know. I don't have a family. I'm getting married in a couple months. We have the interns. We have a dog and a cat. But we don't have children, and I still don't have time to play games. So I don't know how parents have any time ever. I don't get it. But
I'll tell you this much. I don't. I don't know how other family. Every once in a while, we'll get out like some of the Switch controllers, and we'll actually play Mario Kart 8.
Mario Kart 8
Deluxe. Yeah, and Mario Kart 8 has like the auto steer and auto drive, and I'll give a controller to my daughter, who's 2 years old.
Does she beat you?
And no. I don't know.
No.
She'll get good eventually, but in the meantime, King is supreme. King is
supreme. Which brings us to the one game you're most looking forward to that isn't available right now, which you say is Mario Kart World.
Yes, absolutely.
So is she you gonna get her playing that too?
Yeah, you got to start her young. I want her to be a real video game world champ, so we're gonna get her taking extensive classes, 16 hours a day playing video games. She's going to be the next Fortnite. She's going to be the next.
She's going to be the next Fortnite. Period.
Yeah, she's going to be the next Tyler Blevins poker game, whatever. I don't know what these people do.
This is another game I played at the Nintendo Switch 2 experience in LA, and man, this one.
Wow, it sounds so great. Wow, I wish I was there. Wow.
I know.
Tell me more.
I know. I don't know
there.
how I'm like one of the only people that I know that got accepted to any of these. Like I'm surprised I was able to go. But Mario Kart World and I wrote about this again. I wrote about this in Nintendo Force magazine, and I wrote like it very clearly feels like a game that was designed and developed by a group of people that have been developing like the best games of all time. Like, and of course, it's Mario Kart, right? It's the new Mario Kart, but it just feels so polished and so fun, and like all the characters. Like if you slow down and watch the trailers for Mario Kart World, there's like their reactions. The characters' reactions are really cool, and like the way the carts are like bouncing and moving, and it's not stuff that you really like unless you pay attention to. You don't really notice it right away. But man, the attention to detail is fantastic, and I'm pumped for it.
I'm really excited.
I'm picking up. That's a launch title. Not that you are going to need. I keep coming back. We got to get you.
I'm going to be able to.
We got to get you a Switch 2.
Sure, absolutely.
We got to get you a Switch.
I would love one. Okay.
If you're listening to this podcast episode before June 5th, which is the Switch 2 release date, I have heard that Target stores are going to have 60, like 50 to 60 units on launch day. So they're going to have like 20 to 30, 25 to 30 of each, the bundle, which is 500 and it includes Mario Kart. I almost called it Mario Kart Deluxe World, but it's this is the first time this game is released, so it's not the deluxe yet until they release the OLED and they'll re-release World. What other? This
might be the first time since the Wii where I'm going to have to camp out to try and get a console on release day.
Well, I think it'll be worth it.
My Wii was stolen. By the way, I camped out. Yeah, I camped out outside of a Walmart. And I got in line, and I was going to get one, but one of the workers at that Walmart let his buddy in the back, and he came in and he stole. Yeah, I was the last one. They cut it off. They had like 12 or something like that, and I was the 12th person. And so when I went in there, they're like, "Oh, we can't find it. We can't find it." And they're like, "What do you mean? We had 12." So it turns out one of the guys, one of the employees there, let his buddy in there. And he stole he stole one of the Wiis, and so like. Walmart, which is like, "Oh, we're so sorry." They give me like $50. They give me a $50 gift.
If anybody remembers, getting the Wii was like really hard.
Thing, dude. Yeah, I was there. I got there at like 1 a.m.
Oh no!
And I didn't walk away with the Wii. It sucked.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully, your experience at Target for the Switch 2 will be better. I'm hoping it'll be better. We'll see.
TBD.
Yeah. So, what other Switch 2 games are you looking forward to?
I mean, Donkey Kong. Look forward to that one. Nothing else.
Really. You don't need a Switch 2. Turns out you don't need a Switch 2.
Yeah, well, it's just like a lot of the other stuff is like the Switch 1 Plus games where there's new and cool content on the Switch 2.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not going to buy Breath of the Wild for a third time. Yeah. I got it on the Wii U, man.
I told myself that. There's no way they're going to be able to get me to rebuy games. And here we are. I haven't done it yet. Let's see, what did I pick up? I'm pulling up my collection on Deku deals because when I pre-order games, I add them to my collection because otherwise I end up pre-ordering them from like 2 different places and then 2 copies show up and I don't know what to do with myself. Let me pull up my collection.
If only you had a good friend that you could give your second.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, good idea. Let's see. So I've pre-ordered for launch titles. I pre-ordered Cyberpunk. This is like, one, I want to support it because it's all on the game card. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. The entire thing with the DLC is on the 64 gig game card. So I want to support that. And also I played it at the Switch 2 experience in LA as well. And I was surprised by how well it ran. So I've got that pre-ordered. I've got... Hopefully my fiance is not listening to this episode because I've got Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 edition. She loves that game. So I bought the Switch 2 edition. Yeah. I didn't rebuy any of the Zeldas, though. The only other 2 Switch 2 games that I got that are for launch are Mario Kart World, because I'm getting the digital bundle. So I've got that, and then Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma because it looks so sweet.
I've never played. I've seen Rune Factory for
either.
10 billion years. I've never played it.
I haven't either.
I'm tired, man. I just want to play my Marios and my Donkey Kongs, and then like people are like, oh, you got to play this indie game, and I'm like, I don't. Nah, man. Maybe next lifetime.
Yeah. I think most of the reason why I picked it up is because there was like, I'm like, okay, I've got Mario Kart, I've got Cyberpunk, I've got Kirby. I feel like I needed something like another new game because Kirby isn't really a new game. Mario Kart is, but Cyberpunk isn't. So then I'm like, all right, I feel like I need 2 new games with a long, like consoles, all exciting. It's coming out. So I picked up that. So I don't know. We'll see.
Let us know. Next, we'll have to get together later on another podcast.
Yeah.
You can tell me all about
recipe, any new recipes you've got. Absolutely. And how you're still only playing Balatro.
That's true.
I also did pre-order Donkey Kong Bananza because I'm pumped for that. But
I am too. I'm excited. And yeah, of course I'll show you some new recipes. We're making a little free cookbook that's it's a bunch of have you heard of Ina Dream Barbecue?
No.
Really?
No.
It's a weird one. Check it out. I don't know.
What's it called? I said,
Ina, ENA or Ina Dream Barbecue.
Dream Barbecue. Okay, I'm looking it up on Deku Deals. Strange. Wow.
Yeah, so it started out as a YouTube series that like it's these YouTube videos where it looks like it's an old sort of like first person like exploring an interesting map and solving puzzles, like an old MS-DOS almost sort of thing. Sweet. Yeah. So this is just a free thing. Like I said, it's just like fan art really. We made some barbecue recipes. That's it.
Yeah, it is free. Look at that. It's free on Steam.
Yeah. Yeah, check it out. So yeah, we're just making. It's not official or anything like that. And another one is, have you heard of horse race tests?
Horse race tests.
It is. It's not a game. Oh. It's on Twitter, and it's just like I can't explain it. You have to find the know your meme page and try and read about it. I'm not going to explain it. We're making like a cookbook it's another free giveaway one where we have some. I've said too much. It's really stupid. It's a dumb idea. This is like a 3 a.m. idea. Where like, so I DM'd the creator and I said, hey, can I make a horse cookbook? And he said, and paraphrasing him here, he said maybe, but eating horse is frowned upon in the U.S.
Yeah, it's legal in Canada, I think, but
yeah. And so I was like, oh, true, you're right. And so we're not making a horse cookbook. We're making like horse inspired. This is so stupid, but it's like we have like there's sugar cubes, which is it's just Rice Krispie treats with sprinkles on them, so it looks like sugar cubes that you feed horses. We have chocolate cowboy hats. We have a carrot cake. That's another. This is really stupid.
No, this is fantastic. I think listeners are listeners are gonna really care about this. They're gonna really engage with this.
And like the art is very. It's gonna be. I'm having a hard time communicating why I want to do this here, but I just need to do it because it's really cute and stupid and fun. And that's what I need more in my community right now because nobody's buying anything because the economy's on fire.
All right, listeners.
So let me have
listeners. One,
let me have this.
This is why Evan is my friend, and this is why he's on this podcast right now. He cares about making things fun and good. And that was, I've never talked about, or maybe I did. Maybe I did talk about it in the first episode with Team Deku about why I wanted to record an episode called Talk a Good Game. Because there's so much negativity and there's so much toxicity and being always online and being on social media all the time. It's been rough. And like, I just want to talk about good video games or good recipes and cookbooks. Also, that's a new thing for this podcast. But that's why, Evan, I think you're such a good guy. And I've enjoyed our time as friends, and I've enjoyed our time on this podcast. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, you've known me long enough to know that I really put myself out there and help people out, and definitely do way more than I need to.
Yeah, you're always going above me.
Like, I know, and I'm really thankful for this opportunity to come on here and just chat and hang out for a bit. Because, like, also at the same time, like we've hung out like a handful of times. We've gotten into some shenanigans, but we've never actually had much time to sit down and be like, why do you like games? Who are you? Do
you play games? And then you say, no, but I make cookbooks about games and I make fun pins. So, okay, let's see. Before we drop and before I give you a chance to plug anything, I do want to talk about your newest pin, ? I think it's your newest pin.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
it's not on the homepage of JobJobLLC.com.
I'll put it on the homepage
But
later.
it's the cow. Wait, let me restart. It's inspired by the cow from Mario Kart World. It is not.
Yes, it is.
It's legally distinct.
It is a whole unique new creation called Mukira.
So it's inspired by. It's a pin that an enamel pin inspired by the cow from Mario Kart World and Akira. So it's got it's the Akira slide with the cow from Mario Kart World. And,
it's super stupid. And like a bunch of people did that drawing, but we were like, I have the timestamps to prove that like we thought about it before we saw any of that art. And we were just like tinkering around with it and doing it.
You're always ahead of the curve.
So
always ahead of the curve.
Well, I don't know. It was just like, you know, the cow on the thing. It's on the bike. It's like Akira. Oh, we could totally do that. And we just went.
See, we should have recorded this at 3 a.m. So these 3 a.m. thoughts and ideas that you're talking about, like Mukira and this barbecue the horse cookbook and things like that, we could have actually been able to blame it all on it's 3 a.m. for this recording, but it's currently 1 p.m. Pacific time, and these are the sanest thoughts we have.
Unironically, we should do like a 3
a.m. recording. Well, I'm going to be in Japan in a few days. We could do another recording where you're delirious and I'm on my normal time zone.
You know, I can't think of anything better for you to do in your time in a foreign country to just waste all of it by talking on a podcast. You know, you should really do that. Great idea. Let's do it, guys.
Well, I'm looking forward to checking out. So I've been to Tokyo, or I've been to Japan a few times. This will be my 4th time going. So I'm excited to go back. I haven't been since before the plague. So I'm excited to go back. And then I'm finally going to the Nintendo Museum. That's a big part of why I'm going. I got my raffle ticket, so I'm going to the Nintendo Museum. So follow if anyone listening, if you want to follow along, I'll be posting on my Bluesky profile, Andrew Alerts, all one word. You can find me there on Bluesky. But before we drop, is there any other games you want to plug? Anything else you want to plug? Where can people find you? Where can people buy your cookbooks and encourage you? Anything like that?
Yeah, so we have pins, cookbooks, some other cool stuff like cutting boards, aprons. We used to have knives, but we actually sold out all of our knives. We had a knife that was actually it was inspired by the freaking Great Fairy knife.
Very shiny.
Yeah, no, it was like purple and green and had roses engraved. It was crazy. Yeah. We sold out of those. We can't get it anymore, but it's awesome. Which is probably the worst pitch in the world. Here's a product you can't have. But yeah, it's all on JobJobLLC.com. We have a Twitter, which is JobJobLLC. We have a Bluesky, which is, I think it's like JobJobLLC at JobJobLLC. I don't know, just find it. We also have a couple flagship brands underneath, sort of like, you know, every time we do like a big brand, we try and make a Twitter for it as well. The most popular one that we're on is it's LegendsCookbook on Twitter. That's also our Instagram handle. So, but like, you know, you can find us if you want. But, like I said, I'm not here to
find them.
I'm not here to sell products. I'm here to just make stuff and do stuff. We have a really awesome Discord community. We have a lot of great people.
I'll put all the links. I'll put all the links in the description, and I'll also in the description I'll include the coupon code TAGG, and you'll get some money off on JobJobLLC.com. So TAGG. Talk a good game.
Are you literally?
Yep.
Okay. Now
I'm forcing
that coupon code right now.
live on recording. I'm forcing Evan to create that coupon right now.
I'm unironically, and I had to put the freaking Mukira pin on the front page too. While
you're welcome. Actually, you should have done that a long time ago. All right, we're I was gonna say we're pandering. We're not pandering. We're delaying the inevitable.
TAGG.
It's happening.
All right. So how much you want? Let's do
20% off. Wow.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
20% off everything. Open to all customers. We're going to limit it to 1 use per person, and it's only going to be the first 10 people. Let's up that. Let's make that 25%.
I'm leaving this whole discussion at the end of the podcast. It's all going to be in there.
This is, you get to see no minimums, no nothing. It is good to go.
No minimums. What does that mean? No, you know what? I don't want to know. I want it to be a surprise.
You can buy anything that you want.
All right, Evan. Really appreciate your time. I'm glad we could record and talk about some games. So let's see, what did we talk about? We talked about Donkey Kong Country for Super Nintendo, not Donkey Kong Country Returns necessarily, but Donkey Kong Country. We talked about Balatro. We talked about Balatro some more. Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door, Mario Kart World, other Switch 2 games that you don't care about other Switch 2 games. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Talked about a bunch of cookbooks, a bunch of recipes, a bunch of good stuff, and you can find it all on JobJobLLC.com.
Buy today, buy now, buy often. So yes, that coupon code is live. Only first 10 people get 25% off anything in the store. So congratulations for strong-arming me into that. I really love it.
You're welcome.
I love making even less money on my small business. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. You're so kind.
And with that, I say adieu. Is that adieu? All right.
We can't.
Goodbye.
We can't.
I'm ending recording. Thanks, Evan. Appreciate you being here.
Love you,
Talk
man.
to you later. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Talk a Good Game. The show is produced by me, Andrew Wolf, in Seattle, Washington, with music by Plus Minus One and art by Sonny Ross. Find more good games, create a wish list, and build your video game collection on DecoDeals.com. DecoDeals Patreon supporters experience the site and mobile app ad-free. Join now at patreon.com/DecoDeals. The best way to support TAGG is by leaving a review, and you can suggest a game to be featured on a future episode by sending an email to tagg@decodeals.com.